we are going to be finding the volume of these rectangular prisms. So let's remember that the formula for volume is, so I'm using a white marker, let me get a color one, length times width times height. So every time length times width times height. And we can use that commutative property and switch them around. We can do height times width times length. We can do width times length times height. There's all these endless options. Are all going to get us to the same answer. So I always like to do the ones that are easiest first, then work from there. Or sometimes I like to save the easy one for last, actually. So we're taking these, we're timesing each of the numbers. So I'm going to start here, 8 times 3, so 8, 16, 24. And we're going to times that by 7. So 24 times 7. So 7 times 4, put it here, 7 times 2, add that in. And it says these are all in feet. So our answer is going to be feet cubed. So whatever our answer is, it's going to be feet cubed. So length times width times height. So our next one here, so we have a length of 9, a height of 6, a width of 9. So I'm going to start here, 6. So again, it doesn't matter. Over here, we did the length and the height first. Now I'm doing the width and the height first. It's going to get us to the same answer as we can flip multiplication around with the commutative property. So 6 times 3 is 18. And we're going to take 18 and we're going to times that by 9. So 9 times 8, carry it. 9 times 1 plus your 7 that was up here. And again, it is feet cubed. So we're just taking all three numbers and multiplying them together. Make sure you are finishing the math. Okay, our next one we can do 14. So this is what I'm talking about. We can switch and pick what we want to do. I can do 8 times 8, which I know is 64. And then I can do 64 times 14, and I have a double digit problem. So now I've got a little bit harder problem. But I was able to do 8 times 8 in my head. Another way I can do it is 14 times 8 and just times by a single digit. But then I'll have to do another problem and times it by 8 again, but it's easier problems. So I can either pick maybe one to do in my head and then do a double digit problem, or I can times and use single digits. So for this one, if you know you can do it however you want. If you're doing it with me, this is the way I'm going to choose to do it. So this one I'm going to do 14 times 8. So here's 32, 8, 9, 10, 11. So now I need to take this 112 and again times it by 8. But it's just a single digit, so the math is a little easier. And then my answer needs to be feet cubed. Okay, so this one here, I can do 12 times 4, which is single digit, and then times that by 7. Or I can do 12 times 7, single digit, times by 4. Or I can do 7 times 4, which I know in my head, and then times it by 12. So for this one, I'm going to take 4 and 7 is 28. And times that by 12. So I'm going to put 28 on top because 12 has easier numbers. It has 1s and 2s. So we're just timesing by the third number. So 8 times 2 is 16. Then we have 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5. Now we need a placeholder. We're done with this 1. So now we're doing 1 times everything. 1 times 8 is 8, and 1 times 2 is 2, and we're going to add these together, and that's going to give us our answer in feet squared. So make sure you finish that problem. So again, it doesn't matter which two you choose to multiply first, as long as we're getting all three multiplied together. Okay, so now number 5, we have 13 times 13, then times by 3. So I'm going to choose to get the harder problem out of the way. 13 times 13, and then I just have to times that by 3. So 13 times 13, so 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. Placeholder, 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. So we're adding these up. and we get 169. So this side is 169, and now we have 3 levels of that. So we need to finish the problem by doing 169 times that by 3. So then that will be our answer, feet cubed. So make sure you do the math there. Okay, this one we have all double-digit numbers. There's no switching to do a single one. So I'm just going to start with 15 times 15 and then times it by 17. So we have 15 times 15. So we're finding this side here, how many cubes are on this side, and then we have 17 layers of that. So 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7. Placeholder. And we're done with that too. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. So here's 5, 12, and 2. So now we need to do 225. And we need to times that by 17 here. So 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 2, 7, 14, 15, 16, 17. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. So we're done with those. Hey, here's our placeholder. Now we're 10 times bigger. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. So we're going to add these up, and that's going to be our answer, feet cubed. So we found how many cubes were on the side, and we have 17 layers of that. Okay, again, we don't have an easy way to get out of double digits, so I'm going to start and do 26 times 24. So that is going to tell me how many bricks I have here, and then we have 25 of those. So we're finding like this front layer, and then we have 25 of those going forward and back. So we're going to do 26 by 24. So 4 times 6 is 24. 8, 9, 10. Placeholder. Done with that too. 6 times 2 is 12. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So we have 4, 2, 6. So we have 624, and you're going to times that by 25. So we have 25 layers. And then you finish the math, and that's feet squared. So I want you to try that one on your own there. Okay, and number 8, I'm going to let you try this one on your own. So just pick 2 to times together and then times it by the other one. If I were doing this, I'd get 16 times 16 out of the way and then times it by 7 to get your answer, feet cubed. So I might have said squared on this last one, but it's cubed. So length times width times height every time we're finding volume.